Good afternoon. Myself Kavipriya, Assistant Professor, EC Department, SNS College of Technology. Today I am going to deliver a case study topic, E-waste management, a comparative analysis. First, what is this e-waste? E-waste include almost any household or business item containing circuitry or electrical components such as TV appliances, computer, laptops, mobile phones, fridges, washing machine, dryers, etc. So the hazardous contents of these materials poses a serious threat to human beings and environment. And this tabulation contains the components, constituents of these components and the body parts affected by these components if it is not properly disposed or recycled. For instance, we can see this PCB, printed circuit board, which contains lead and cadmium. If a printed circuit board is not properly disposed or recycled, it may affect the nervous system, kidney and liver. And CRT, cathode ray tube, contains lead oxide, barium and cadmium. If it is not properly recycled or disposed, it affects the heart, liver and muscles. And this plastic contains a bromine which affects our endocrine part of a humans. And next, what are the ways to dispose this e-waste? If a PC or any other electrical equipment are out of order, we can return it to the manufacturers. We can even send the waste goods to the proper authorized recycling facility center for proper disposal. We can donate our old working equipments to school, colleges or government entities which are in need. And what are all the advantages of recycling this e-waste? First advantage is asset recovery. Second one, reduction of junks and clutters. Third one, resale and reuse. And final one, all the above, the most important advantage is a clean environment. And what are the steps involved in the e-waste recycling? The consumers who has this e-waste can contact the authorized recycling center. They, after getting the components, they will be manually sorting, processing and they will be separating the components and they will be reprocessing it and convert into a new products. The new products later reach the consumers. What are all the drawbacks of informal e-waste recycling? The informal e-waste recycling centers involves a high-risk backyard operations. They use non-efficient and non-environmental sound technologies. They cause hazards to the environment. And lot of resources will be wasted due to this informal e-waste and recycling centers. And they are impacts vulnerable to social groups such as women, children and migrant laborers. And what are the needs for this e-waste management? First one is a solid waste management. Since e-waste disposal and recycling involves a generation of solid waste, it has to be properly managed. And second one is a toxic materials. So most of the electronic devices contains a toxic substances such as lead, mercury, cadmium and chromium. So we have to process this electronic devices more carefully to avoid being affect the environment and the people. Third one is a rich source of raw materials. Only 10 to 15% of gold in e-waste is successfully recovered while the rest is lost. So electronic waste contains deposits of precious metal richer than ore mines from the earth. And last one, international movement of hazardous waste. The uncontrolled movement of e-waste to countries where cheap labor and primitive approaches to recycling have resulted in health risks to local residents exposed to the release of the toxins. And next is the e-waste management in India. In India, the management of electronic waste was addressed within the framework of Environment and Forest Hazardous Waste Regulation of 2008. In 2011, a significant notice pertaining to the e-waste governed by the Environment Act of 1986 was issued. E-Waste Rules 2016 was enacted in 2017, which includes about 27 products under the purview of rule. It includes CFL, mercury lamps as well as other equipments. In 2018, 2016 rules underwent an amendment which includes authorization and product stewardship. Product stewardship is nothing but it is a concept and approach that emphasizes the responsibility of producers, manufacturers and other stakeholders for entire life cycle of product from its creation to its disposal or recycling. And Government of India notified e-waste management rules 2002 with a major aim to digitize the e-waste management process. It also restricts the use of hazardous substances such as lead, mercury and cadmium in manufacturing electrical and electronic equipments that affects the human health and environment. And how can India work towards reducing and recycling e-waste more effectively? First thing is that formalizing the e-waste collection. So the e-waste center, that should be a mandatory rule. They should have a mandatory registration and licensing for collecting the e-waste and recycling the e-waste. Second one, e-waste tax credits for manufacturers. So implementing a tax credit system that provides incentives to the electronic manufacturers for designing the products with extended lifespan and repairability features. This approach aims to promote eco-friendly design. Third one is e-waste ATM. Installing e-waste ATMs in public places where individuals can deposit old electronic devices and return they can get some small financial incentives or vouchers. And fourth one, e-waste tracking and certification. Establishing a blockchain based system to track the entire life cycle of electronic devices. Each device should have some digital certificate that records its manufacturing, ownership and disposal history. So this would make it easier to trace and hold responsible parties accountable for improper disposal. And last one, e-waste art and awareness. Promoting awareness through art installations made from e-waste. Encouraging the artists to create sculptures or exhibits in public spaces to visually depict the magnitude of e-waste problem and raise the awareness about the proper disposal. I conclude that e-waste, as far as e-waste is concerned, it has emerged as one of the fastest growing waste streams worldwide. Electronic equipment is one of the large known source of metals. Without effective collection, reuse and recycling system, they will be dangerous to the environment. Product designed by using safe and environmental friendly raw materials, and they should be designed using the emerging technologies. Reuse and recycling of electronic equipment is an alternative than the disposal of the electronic equipment. And finally, and most important thing is that people should have the awareness of this e-waste. Thank you.